Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God. Back with you with the next video in my Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, today continuing Baldur's Gate 3. So here we are at the camp and we're continuing to have conversations with everybody, so here we go.
This might be the wine talking, but I'm feeling inspired. Thinking of writing my next song about you. But I need an angle. Any ideas?
We could say, not really, I'm not much of a bard, or how about courage, classic song material? Or have you seen this body? It would be a crime not to sing about it, no. Or honestly, I'd rather you didn't. Or if I hear my name in a song, your life is forfeit now. Or we could say half work, maybe a song about my mixed heritage, it's a point of pride for me. We won't go with that one either. What we'll choose for this one is, how about courage, classic song material?
Fitting. You're braver than half this camp combined. That deserves to be remembered.
Thanks. That's awful kind of you all here.
I'll be ruining it come morning anyway.
Really kind of her. So Zevlor seems to be the last person to talk to, so we'll wait for that. We'll go talk with Mole here. Is there anyone behind Mole? No.
You came through for us. That's a change from most adults I know.
We could say, what are you doing way over here? Or, don't be so harsh on your elders. Or, indeed, and now you owe me. Or what we will say, which is, that sounded dangerously close to a compliment.
And that sounds like the wine drowning your wits. Go on, enjoy yourself. I've squirreled away a few extra bottles. When the barrel's tapped out, I'll be there to save the night. For a price, of course.
Take care, Mole. So we'll talk with Zevlor last, since he seems to be the objective here.
Is this everyone?
Go on now. Don't waste a night like this talking to me. We'll discuss your problem tomorrow.
We could say, I thought you might care to have a drink with me, or there's other things we could do besides talking. So basically, if you're watching this in the future, one of the last panel from Hell from Sven Vinke and the Larian team, it showed a romance scene. And if you are wondering what romance scene it was a romance scene between Astarion and, you guessed it, Halsin. And in that scene, Halsin transformed to a bear. And so that like blew up on the internet and everything. So if you're watching this in the future, that was basically the context with which I'm viewing this conversation. And so this of course is the path they must have taken in order to get there. So very crazy stuff. We'll say, take your own advice, why don't you? Go on, mingle a little.
Later, perhaps. Don't worry about me. A night under the stars amidst nature's creation is just what I need after being locked up in the goblin's dungeon. Go on, enjoy yourself. Seek out some wine before it runs dry. There are a lot of thirsty people around here.
I can't afford to lose any more of them.
Next to Volo.
Aha, there you are. Come now, settle in. I do hope you have partaken of something bracing. This may well take us all night.
We'll say, and by this you mean? Or we could say, shouldn't we be celebrating?
But I am engaged in celebration of the purest form. Commemoration. If we are to write your legend in the stars, then we must first give you a name. That ballad was but a crude preview, a frame without its crowning jewel. Your nom de guerre. Something iconic, but not too much of a mouthful. We don't want to exclude the common folk after all. I intend this tale to enrapture all.
We could say, don't you have anything of actual worth to work on? Or you have something in mind, or I didn't ask anyone to write my story. Or we could say Goblin's Bane has a nice ring to it. Or what about Grove Keeper? Or I already have a name. Let's say you have something in mind.
Far too much. This is the very problem. If you could set aside your many triumphs, carry out one defining act, not to belittle your achievements to date, of course, but besting a dragon, a giant, a god, perhaps? I must deliberate. Go. Enjoy your evening. I shall have work for you in the days to come.
Thanks, Evola.
Ah, hells. I was hoping you wouldn't notice I was gone.
We'll say, of course I noticed. There was no party with you? Or, what exactly do you think you're doing sulking out here? Get your arse back to the party. Or what we will say, which is, are you alright?
No. I'm deeply proud of you. A touch less so of myself. In truth, I don't feel in a festive mood, and I didn't want to cast a grey cloud over the night. I'm a devil. I love the people from the Grove, but I unsettle them deep down, as I seem to unsettle everyone nowadays. You don't want a devil at your party. Claws will pop the balloons, you see. And the sweet cakes don't taste half as good as raw eggs with this blasted forked tongue.
We could say, sorry it has you feeling rough tonight, or come on, you're exaggerating, nothing much has changed. Or you just have some fetching horns, I'm envious. Or you don't unsettle me, you know that.
If only half the world had half the heart you do. But, off with you. This is your day. Have a dance. Enjoy the music.
We could say I want to dance with you, we won't. Or can't you tell why I really follow you out here? No. Or I'll say, I wish you were there, but I'll respect your need for peace. Or you're impossible and leave. We could say, we'll just leave. Take care, Will.
Goblins swarmed, but we were brave and fried them all with a thunder.
Last but not least, Gale.
Not what happened. Live a little.
Beautiful night, don't you think? Nothing like a brush with destruction to make one appreciate the majesty of the celestial canvas. It's a view I would once have shared with my companion, though definitely unaccompanied by such revelry. She preferred it when we were alone, curled up before a crackling hearth with some ancient, esoteric tome between us. Ink glinting in the firelight.
We could say, are you talking about your cat? Or we could say, hope you aren't talking about Mistra again. Or we'll say, sounds fun.
Oh, not everyone is comfortable being alone with their thoughts. Though I never felt alone with a book in my hand, or with her for company. I speak of Tara, my Tressim, assistant, my constant companion through all the ills and tribulations my hubris has thrust upon me. She'd be most impressed by our efforts saving these tieflings. Proud, even. And I've given her little to be proud of recently, after I was afflicted with my condition. Locked myself in my tower for an entire year. I was inconsolable, wallowing in my self-inflicted tragedy, giving up on myself. But Tara never did. It was her encouragement, her research that led me to my treatment. Once we knew that magically infused items were the key, she went out to find them for me. She saved my life. After so long being cared for by someone else, it feels good to have repaid the favor. Not directly to Tara, but to these poor tieflings. I'm sure she would approve.
We could say, you must have been lonely with only Tara for company. Or, what is Tara like? Or, we'll say, she must be very smart to have done all that.
Smart does her a disservice. She's a fine wizard in her own right, though somewhat held back by her lack of opposable thumbs. You remind me of her somewhat. There's a steeliness in you, an unwavering tenacity, even in the face of, to be frank, quite dire odds. Wish she were here for me to make a formal introduction.
but I would never ask her to undertake such a journey. She's safer at home. Besides, she was always telling me I needed to spread my wings, so to speak. Find mortal friends instead of hanging onto Mistra's coattails. So that's what I'm doing. I hope.
I could say bad luck on that front, we're not going to. So remind you of your pet, how romantic, no. Or we could say, what if she doesn't like me? Or what I will say, which is, you don't have any friends?
Sadly not. If I'm being entirely honest, my social circle is rather small. More of a dot. Or a pinhead. I've got acquaintances, certainly. Plenty of colleagues. Friends? Those are precious indeed. I hope, though we've only known each other for a short time, I might be able to count you among that number.
We could say the first one we're not going to. The second one, yeah, we'll say, we won't say the third one either, which is, I wouldn't call this a friendship, more a series of necessary interactions. What we'll say is, that depends. What do you like about me?
Were I to recite that list, I fear we'd be here at dusk tomorrow. Many things, I assure you. But a conversation better saved for another time. With my condition as volatile as it is, I fear any undue excitement may tip it over the edge, so to speak. Go! Indulge in the frivolities. They're good for the heart. And mine will be all the lighter to see you enjoying yourself.
Thanks, Cal. So now let's talk with Zevlor. I believe this is the right person to talk to.
You have no idea how good it feels to see these people smiling. The singing we could probably do without, but even so, thank you.
Awesome. I think that's it. So that makes me now wonder, do I click the go to bed? I think so, actually. Who's over here? Oh, Withers. Okay, no worries. Anybody further down this way? Doesn't appear so.
If the owner has any sense, they'll hire you on the spot.
Buzz of celebration quiets to a soothing hum as you approach your bunk. Though you seek repose, you needn't spend the night alone. There is one who yearns for you in the dark. Who will you seek?
Shadowheart.
Your heart skips a beat. What treasures might this night bestow?
You made it. Come here. Sit with me.
We could say, what do you have in mind, beside the bottle, that is? Or, did you think I wouldn't show? Or, drain the cup in one swallow? Or, what I will say, which is, I wouldn't dream of missing it.
So eager. I'm surprised it took you this long. Well, to begin, I think a toast is in order. Any suggestions?
We could say to victory, to survival, to friendship, or what I will say, which is to us.
Bold. What does us entail? I suppose I'll find out. To us. Now tell me something about yourself. And no tadpoles, dragons, marauding goblins, or anything like that. Something about you.
We could say something about me, I'm surprised you cared, or half-orcs speak of an uncertain youth, neither fully at home with humans or orcs. A youth that forged resilience, self-reliance. Or share a little memory from growing up in Baldur's Gate. Or there are other things we could do besides talk. Or what I will say, which is persuasion, you first. Nice.
Don't laugh, but I'm not quite sure I have anything to share. When you worship Shard, secrecy is everything. We'll sacrifice our own memories when ordered to. A lot of the little things, they're lost to me right now.
We could say, do you think your memories will ever come back? Or drinking wine won't help that. Or that's a convenient way to avoid the question. Or what I will say, which is wrong. You like night orchids and can't swim. You told me once.
I did. And you remembered. You're sweet. There's still plenty of wine, and the whole night is ahead of us. Nearly light. The others will be awake soon.
We'll look into her eyes.
What?
We'll say, you're beautiful.
I know. But you're sweet to notice. Thank you for last night.
We'll say, I hope there'll be more to come.
Me too.
She trails off. You read an invitation in her eyes.
We'll go ahead and kiss her.
That didn't hurt, did it?
We could say the pain was worth it, a little tingle, or we'll say no, far from it.
Good to know. For the future. Let's head back, if we must.
I trust you enjoyed your evening. After all your efforts, it was well deserved. It may be some time before you're afforded another such night. There is much to be done, and I promised I would help you however I could. I'm certain a cure for you can be found at Moonrise Towers, but it's complicated. The journey specifically, it's extremely perilous, though it seems you're well accustomed to navigating danger.
We could say, that's it, just go to this place, or I was expecting more from you than a lead towards some distant dangerous prospect. Or Moonrise Towers, is it then? I'd better make haste. Or, what I will say, which is, what's so dangerous about it?
To get to the towers, you'll need to pass through a terrible place. A cursed place. This curse shrouds everything in shadow. You will not find life, light, or anything natural there. Any who linger are twisted by the curse. They become shadow beings, tormented, dangerous souls.
We could either say, sounds like I've no choice, I need to find a way through, or the Absolute's forces can tolerate such a place, or there must be another way to cure myself, or how are you so sure Moonrise is where I have to go? Or what we will say, which is, what do you suggest?
You could go overland, along the Risen Road or through the mountains. Easier at first, but you'll run into the Shadow Curse eventually. You could also go under. There is a tunnel somewhere in the ruined Temple of Selûne. It leads to Moonrise Towers through the Underdark. Long ago, a man called Ketheric Thorm built a secret stronghold deep down there, before rallying a whole army of Dark Justiciars, Shah worshippers.
Dark Justiciars. I must see for myself.
Aridin and his lot were looking for a way down there. They were promised riches if they retrieved a relic called the Night Song. But I think there's more. From this stronghold, Ketheric's forces could access both the Temple of Selûne and Moonrise Towers. But he was defeated before he could launch an attack. If you can find this place, I'll wager it will reveal a more direct path to Moonrise Towers. And maybe even bypass the worst of the Shadow Curse.
We could say, I never thought I'd say this, but it sounds like the Underdark is the safer route, or I don't want to risk getting lost in the Underdark, I'll journey overland, or I found the hidden entrance in the Temple of Saloon, the way is clear, or what we will say, which is I already found the place you're talking about. It's called Grimforge.
You've already been? Impressive. You'll make me redundant at this rate. What did you find?
We could say absolute followers, but that's not all. But that's about all. Or what I will say, which is danger. Are you sure that's the best way to Moonrise?
I'm certain. The Underdark is dangerous, yes, but the alternative is suicide. Be patient and be thorough. The path will reveal itself in time. It may prove impossible to avoid the Shadow Curse entirely, but if you find any way to limit your exposure, seize it. I would like to join your camp, if you'll allow me. I can offer my skills, my counsel. I've long sought to return to Moonrise Towers. It seems our fates have aligned.
We'll go ahead and say, you want to come to Moonrise as well. Why?
Unfinished business, and a lifetime of regret to repair. I helped overthrow Ketheric Thorm and his Dark Justiciars years ago, but I failed to prevent him from unleashing darkness across the region before he was defeated. I spent years researching the curse, trying to put an end to it. Nothing has worked. Yet, if I can join you and get close to Moonrise, perhaps I can lift this curse. Same as you may find a cure for your infection.
We'll go ahead and say, is that why you went with Aradin? You thought he might uncover this route to Moonrise?
Precisely. Then perhaps I could have done something about both the Shadow Curse and Ceremorphosis aberrations. But in my eagerness, I put far too much faith in the abilities of Aradin and his band. We didn't even get close.
What about the Grove?
I've chosen a successor as first druid, Francesca of the High Forest. A bird's already been dispatched to summon her.
We could say, who?
Precisely. Who indeed? You do not know, and neither do any of the others. The Grove needs to move beyond the mistakes of the past. What it needs is an unknown quantity. An outsider who can enforce the Oakfather's teachings without bias. This is why I chose Francesca. She will restore simplicity and purity to the Grove in my absence.
We'll say, very shrewd of you.
Contrary to how some think of us, we druids can play politics when necessary. Now, we've quite the journey ahead. Best get started.
Do not be so impatient to move on as Halsin. As ever, the Githyanki Kresh remains our priority.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Fascinating. There's a bunch of stuff here. So what could we possibly do? Actually, I'll go ahead and end the video there this week. While offline, I'll look up what the right path to proceed is, because I'm pretty sure that is the conclusion of Act 1. It may not be, but in the event that it is, you know, looking at the time played and things of that nature, you know, 31 hours for me to play Act 1, and I feel I saw mostly almost everything I could within this one permutation of being a paladin, being a paragon of justice, being a good you know, being in the world of Faerun in Baldur's Gate 3. So that is something that I'm, you know, super excited about, and that's where I'll go ahead and end the video there for this week. I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light to be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.